You see it all the time. People with immense talent, holding a burning desire to succeed, stepping up to the microphone and completely freezing. Or someone working desperately to build wealth, only to stay trapped in a cycle of poverty. It's tempting to call it bad luck or a lack of willpower, but the actual culprit is a hidden structural divide in how the human brain processes reality. Think of your brain as a massive ship. You have the conscious mind, the captain standing on the bridge giving out orders, and below deck you have the subconscious mind, a vast, unthinking engine room that blindly operates the heavy machinery based on those orders. But there is a glitch in this system. The engine room cannot tell the difference between a genuine instruction and a fearful passing thought. It does not judge right from wrong, it just executes. When you tell yourself, "I can't do this," your subconscious processes that thought as a literal command from the captain, physically orchestrating the very failure you fear. Take the legendary opera singer Enrico Caruso. At the height of his career, he was a master of his craft, yet he still fell victim to this internal bug. Right before stepping on stage, a wave of conscious fear hit him. He worried the crowd would laugh at him. His subconscious engine took that anxiety as an immediate directive and literally paralyzed his throat muscles. He couldn't make a sound. Standing backstage, inches away from a massive, intimidating crowd, Caruso had to forcefully shout down his own mind. He demanded his fear step aside, consciously reissuing orders of absolute confidence to force his engine room back under control. Every piece of negative self-talk you entertain is an accidental command that paralyzes your potential. Without realizing it, you become the unwitting author of your own destruction. Just how powerful is this blind engine? If it can lock up your vocal cords, can it alter human biology? Can it cure a disease? In ancient times, people traveled to priests and spiritual leaders to be healed, and often they were. Not because of magical amulets or secret chants, but because the patient possessed an absolute, unwavering belief that they were about to be cured. We see the exact same mechanism in modern medicine. Take the historical case of a doctor trying to treat a patient whose tongue had become completely paralyzed. The doctor placed a simple pocket thermometer in the man's mouth, but he told the patient it was a highly advanced new medical instrument. Because the patient fully believed the device would fix him, he screamed with joy a few minutes later. His paralysis was instantly gone. The placebo effect demonstrates the engine room's literal power. It is simply executing a new order based on a wooden box and a glass tube. Your subconscious engine is so potent that when your conscious mind accepts a reality, it will physically rebuild your body to match it. So how do you write the code? The first rule is timing. Your brain's critical firewalls are down during two specific windows: the 5 minutes right before you fall asleep and immediately upon waking. The second rule is repetition. Think of your mind as a garden. You have to plant an idea and let it take root. If you plant a seed in the morning and dig it up by afternoon with doubts and anxiety, nothing will ever grow. The third rule is alignment. The engine room is designed to move toward the destination the captain values. If you consciously resent the goal you are trying to program, you create a conflict that the subconscious cannot resolve. If you spend your days criticizing successful people, your subconscious flags wealth as a threat. To keep you safe from the thing you despise, your mind will actively repel money and opportunity from your life. When you master your timing, commit to repetition, and align your desires without resentment, you stop being an accidental victim of your brain's engine. You become its master programmer. Feed the engine deliberate positive code, and the real-world outputs follow. That nervous singer stops focusing on the fear of rejection, programs her mind with confidence, and finally books the audition. A struggling businessman stops obsessing over his lack of cash, focuses on growing sales, and his wealth multiplies. This mental focus can even influence the physical experience of aging. George Bernard Shaw remained active and prolific well into his 90s, providing a clear example of how a mind's expectations can dictate a body's vitality. Alfred Lord Tennyson wrote some of his greatest works in his 80s. By refusing to feed their engines the internal instructions of decline, these men maintained their peak performance decades longer than their peers. Your age, your wealth, and your success are not strict physical limits imposed upon you. They are the exact parameters of the software you choose to run. The reality you are living today is nothing more than the lagging output of the thoughts you fed your subconscious months or even years ago. You are the architect. Your subconscious is the builder. It never sleeps, it never questions your blueprints, and it will build exactly what you draw for it. The machinery is always running. So what literal command will you choose to feed your engine before you go to sleep tonight?